Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. You're tuned in to Living Modestly Naturally. Hi, I'm Rachel Harris. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. And to all my new and returning subscribers, I want to say thank you for the support. In this video, I will be making creamy body lotion. Okay, this lotion is going to include an oil phase and water phase. Okay, these two phases are needed to bring this lotion together. Now, for the oil phase, I have 1/3 cup of avocado oil, which I'm going to pour into this measuring cup. Okay. Next, I have 2 ounces of mango butter. You can use any type of mango butter, any type of butter. You can use shea butter or aloe butter, any kind of butter of your choice. But I'm using mango butter. So I'm gonna pour it into the cup. So this is 2 ounces here. Make sure it all goes in there. Next, you need emulsifiers. I have an emulsifying wax here, and the emulsifying wax is gonna help to bring the oils and the waters together and help it to blend smoothly. So this is 1 ounce of emulsifying wax. Next, I'm going to use a co-emulsifier. Okay, a co-emulsifier is good to help thicken your product. It's not required, but it's something, if you choose to add it, you can add it to your mixture. You just have to make sure that when you're formulating it, you use the right amount, because it can your product can end up being too thick or maybe not enough. So in this case, for this recipe, I'm using 1 ounce of stearic acid. Okay. And stearic acid is a great co-emulsifier. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to allow this to melt. Okay, I'm gonna allow this to melt to about 160 degrees, and I'll be back to show you what it looks like. So stay tuned. All right, so this is what the oil melted down to about 160 degrees. And so I'm gonna set it out, and then you'll see what I do with the water phase. Okay, for the water phase, and also remember to wear gloves like I have here when you're working with your formulation. So for the oil phase, we're going to add 1/4 cup of aloe gel. Okay, and then make sure all of it gets in there. Okay, and then we're going to add 2 cups of distilled water. Please use distilled water because it's the best choice for your mixtures, and it's free from any minerals and other additives. Don't use tap water. So 2 cups of this in, and then pour the rest. Then I'm going to add 1/3 cup of vegetable glycerin. And in this phase, we're going to warm it up for 160 degrees. Okay, warm it up to 160 degrees, and I'll be back to show you what the results are. Okay, so this is the water phase. It has melted and reached to 160 degrees, and so I'm gonna set this aside, and we're gonna continue with the next steps. All right, now we've come to the fun part where we're gonna put our ingredients together. And so you want to start with the oil. Pour it into this container here, and now you want to use a stick blender. So a stick blender is going to help incorporate everything nice and evenly. So as I'm going to start to mix, I'm going to add the water at the same time. So, and you want to do this slowly. As you're mixing your lotion, you want to keep the stick blender, you want to burp your stick blender, meaning not to allow the lotion to get any air bubbles. So as you're mixing, you want to keep the blender at the bottom of the container so that it can allow the air bubbles to release. Mix this until it reaches down to 140 degrees, and I'll show you what the temperature looks like after I'm done. So stay tuned. Okay, now the temperature of the mixture has dropped down to about 140. So now I'm going to add fragrance, okay? And also at this point you can add color if you'd like, but I'm not using color for my lotion. But the fragrance I have, this is a blend of lavender, peppermint, and caramel vanilla. So going to add about a little less than 0.2, or just about 0.2. So I'll put that in there. Okay, and then you want to blend that all together until it's nice and incorporated. That. Now it's time for the preservative. But before you apply the preservative, you want to make sure that your mixture is down to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit or a little below it. So let's check to see if it's there. To see if it's about 120. Okay, so it's a little bit above. It's like, yeah, it's reaching down. It's getting higher, so it's not quite there yet. We're at 127, if you could see, 124. So I'm gonna give it some more time. So I'll be back to show you when it's ready. Now this has cooled down to about 118. degrees Fahrenheit. And this is the phase now where I'm going to add the preservative. You want to have your lotion cool down to below 120 degrees. So in this case, it went down to 118. And the preservative I'll be using is Phenol-Nip. Phenol-Nip does have parabens and all of those types of chemicals, but Phenol-Nip is also great at covering various different types of bacteria and mold that can possibly get into your lotion. So I don't mind using Phenol-Nip, you know, because it's the best at covering all those areas. But another option would be a preservative called Optifin. It's a little more natural in terms of you know, use, and also it's if you want that as a more milder alternative, that's good. But I'm using Phenol-Nip in this case. So I'll be placing 0.2 ounces. Okay. 0.2 ounces of the preservative. Just want to make sure I got the correct measurement here. Alright, so I'm going to be placing that in there. I wanted to make sure it was the correct amount, which it is. And then now I'm going to mix this for about between 60 to 90 seconds to make sure. Alright, so we've reached to this part where we're going to pour the contents into this bottle here I have for the lotion. And what you want to do is don't let this sit out for too long, because it'll start to thicken, and once it starts to thicken, it's going to be harder to pour inside of the bottle. So I'm going to pour it now while it's still loose and runny. Made enough for 2 containers. This is what it looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit out overnight. I'm going to let it sit out overnight. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want the process of condensation to happen inside of the bottle. Okay? And yeah, so I don't want any condensation to happen inside the bottle, and so I'm going to let it air out. I'm going to let it, give it time to settle so that we don't have any condensation forming inside of the bottle. So I'm going to show you, let it sit overnight, and then I'll show you what it looks like on my hands as I'm going to apply it, to show you how creamy it is and luxurious it is. And I hope you give it a try. Good morning, everyone. It's the next day and the lotion has set overnight, and so now I'm going to show you what it looks like as I apply it on to my hands. So the batch was able to make 2 8-ounce bottles. So let's put the tops on here. And I'm so excited to show you guys how creamy and luxurious this batch is. So I'm gonna set this aside. I'll show you this one. So apply it to my hand. See that? It's so creamy. In my hand. It's not greasy. And it absorbs nicely into the skin. And it feels moisturizing as well due to the aloe and yeah. And it's water-based too, so yeah, so there it is. It goes nicely. The nails too. Yeah. So, yep, there you have it. Yeah, so please feel free to try this recipe. You won't be disappointed. And tune into the last clip where I show you how I sanitize the tools that I use, the utensils that I use to make the lotion, and also utensils that I use to make perfumes and other things as well. So stay tuned for the tips at the end. But thank you so much for watching, and be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. So see you in the next clip. Okay, so this is how I disinfect my utensils that I use to make the lotion. It's important to disinfect your utensils because that also helps prevent cross-contamination with your final product. And so what I did was I put some water in this container, and I used hot water, and then I used a few drops of soap. I used the disinfectant antibacterial soap, and then I added some Clorox bleach. You use any type of bleach you like. So I used Clorox bleach, just a few drops. Don't go crazy using a bunch of bleach. Just a little bit of bleach will go a long way. Just put that in the water and then let it soak for a few hours. After it's finished soaking, you're gonna do a final rinse. You're gonna do the final rinse with warm water, and you're gonna use a clean sponge, a sponge that hasn't been used, or a rag that hasn't been used, something that hasn't been used. Or if it's used, it would have to be something that you only use to wash your utensils that you use to make your DIYs. And then each utensil, I'm going to do a final thorough cleansing with the sponge, going all around it one by one. And afterwards, I'm gonna let it set and dry on a clean surface. You can let it dry on a drying mat, or you can let it dry on a clean table or somewhere where you know. And also too, before you put it on a table or on, make sure that thing is also, that surface is also disinfected as well. And after it's dried completely, then they're ready to use, and you can make your lotions, make your products. And so I hope this tip helps you, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for the support, and also thank you for stopping by if this is your first time. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you're interested. And remember, aim for modesty, carry your beauty naturally, and may Jesus Christ dwell in you. See you all in the next video.